All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're going to open a door into the mind of the great Carl Jung and explore his final message to the world, the book Man and His Symbols. We're going to dive into the hidden language of our own unconscious and see how Jung believed it holds the absolute key to who we really are.
And really, everything starts right here, with this one single idea. Jung was convinced that dreams are not just random static, your brain cleaning itself out at night. No, he believed they are a secret door. And if you can just find the key, you can unlock this profound understanding of yourself and where you're headed. This entire book, really, is about finding that key.
So you have to ask yourself, why did one of the greatest thinkers of the 20th century decide to write a book for everybody, for the general public, right at the very end of his life? Well, the answer, maybe not so surprisingly, came to him in a dream.
I mean, think about it. At 83 years old, Jung was, let's say, pretty reluctant to start a massive project like this. He'd spent his life feeling like his ideas were often twisted or misunderstood, and that the gap between his work and the public was just too wide to cross. But a powerful sense of urgency was about to change everything.
Jung had this incredibly vivid dream. He dreamt he was standing in a public square speaking to a huge crowd of just normal people. And the amazing part, they were listening. They were actually understanding his ideas. He woke up and it hit him. This wasn't just some random dream. It was a mandate. He felt he had a duty to make his life's work accessible to everyone, to build that bridge himself.
So, this book was designed to be a guide, a kind of map to that symbolic world that's humming just beneath the surface of our daily lives. It's all about learning to read the messages our deeper mind is constantly sending us, not just in dreams, but in art, in stories, and even in our relationships.
So how does this symbolic language actually work? Well, to get it, you first have to understand the two basic sides of the human mind.
Okay, so on one hand, you have your conscious mind, what Jung called the ego. This is the part we all know pretty well, right? It's logical, it deals in facts, it speaks in clear language. But then there's the unconscious, and it is a totally different world. It doesn't use sentences, it speaks in pictures, in symbols, in raw feelings. It's this vast, mysterious world that we can sense, but we can't always see directly.
For Jung, a dream is basically the unconscious trying to get a message through to the conscious mind. So if our waking life becomes too one-sided, too rigid, or if we're ignoring a really important part of ourselves, the unconscious will send up a symbolic dream to try and correct the balance. It's like a natural psychological thermostat.
But where in the world do these symbols come from? Well, Jung believed they bubble up from what he called the collective unconscious, a kind of shared, inherited layer of the human mind. And the building blocks of this world are what he called archetypes. Just think of them as the original blueprints for our psyche. The hero, the mother, the wise old Nan. These patterns show up in myths and dreams all across the globe, in every culture. It's part of our shared human inheritance.
Now, one of the most important archetypes is the shadow. And this isn't necessarily about evil. It's about everything we refuse to see in ourselves. Our insecurities, our secret shames, our hidden impulses. It's the stuff we push down. And Jung's big insight here was that you can't become a whole person until you turn around and face this part of yourself.
Then you've got the anima and the animus. In simple terms, this is the inner feminine side of a man and the inner masculine side of a woman. This archetype of the other that lives inside of us acts as this crucial bridge to our unconscious. It holds the key to our creativity, to our relationships, and ultimately to becoming whole.
And finally, we get to the central archetype, the self. Now, this is super important. The self is not the ego. The self is the totality of who you are, your conscious and unconscious minds combined. It's the organizing center of your whole personality, the image of wholeness that your psyche is always striving to achieve.
Jung discovered that the most common symbol for the self is the mandala. That ancient circular design you see in so many cultures? He found that when these patterns start showing up in people's dreams or their art, it was this powerful sign that their personality was naturally moving toward order and wholeness. It's like the psyche is drawing a map of its own center.
This quote really just nails it, because it emphasizes that this drive towards becoming whole isn't just some intellectual idea. It's a natural, biological, even spiritual process. It's a force that comes from the deepest parts of our being, pushing us, guiding us toward completion.
Okay, so this symbolic world isn't just some abstract theory locked away in a book. It is a living, breathing reality.
The final part of Jung's message is all about how we can take this incredible map of the mind and actually integrate it into our own lives, and why doing that is so essential for a meaningful existence. When you start to see the world symbolically, meaning just starts to appear everywhere, in art, in myths, in religion, Jung was adamant that humans simply cannot tolerate a meaningless life. We are wired to seek purpose, and he believed that symbols are the very carriers of that meaning. They're the source code. And this brings us to the ultimate goal of his life's work, individuation. Now, this isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. It's the lifelong journey of bringing the unconscious into the light, of integrating your shadow, understanding your anima or animus, and centering your life around that deeper self. It's about becoming who you were truly meant to be.
So how does a journey like this even begin? Well, Jung's wisdom offers a pretty practical path. Number 1, pay attention to your dreams. Start writing them down. 2, have the courage to acknowledge your shadow, the parts you don't like. And number 3, learn to listen to that quiet, guiding inner voice, that instinct that's connected to the self.
This is maybe the most powerful, most important takeaway from all of Jung's work. If we stay unaware of our own inner world, our complexes, our shadow, our archetypes, they will run our lives from the background. We'll be pushed around by forces we don't understand, and we'll just shrug and call it fate. Real self-knowledge, that's freedom.
You know, there's a real poignancy to this whole story. Jung poured the very last of his energy into this project. He finished his section of the book just 10 days before he passed away. So Man and His Symbols isn't just another text, it's his final legacy. It's his parting gift to all of us.
And so he leaves us with a question that just echoes long after you close the book. That little hidden door is there. The symbols are showing up night after night. The only question left is, will you turn the key? What is your unconscious trying to tell you?